This is Big Leagues Country Roads Rankings. Yoo-hoo!
Hello again, everybody. Travis Berardi alongside Brian Slow Dance Skowronski for your boys' Country Roads Rankings. A day later than usual. Brian had a couple meetings with some big wigs, maybe, getting that OH Report brand out there. So we moved it ahead a day, and the same thing with Stat Leaders. We'll have that tomorrow. But right now, it's time for the boys' Country Roads Rankings, Divisions 3 and 4 here in the state of Ohio. So without further ado...
Well, not the whole state. Just in our country roads right here in our backyard.
North Central Ohio, so yeah. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the boys' rankings.
Yeah, let's see these.
And the team that you have been looking for a while.
About time,
back
baby.
in the top 10, and that is the Willard Flashes. But I will say this, because of Brian's meetings, you guys could have been higher because you had that win against Lucas. That was your lone win on the week, but then last night had a tough loss to Port Clinton. So actually I had them at number 7, but because of the loss, moves down. But you are still cracked into the top 10 with that big victory against the Lucas Cubs at number 10 at 11 and 8. At number 9, the South Central Trojans. Their lone loss to Western Reserve in a game you saw live and free with Brian and myself on the call earlier this week. They stuck with them, and despite being the only team to go 0-1 this week on the top 10 rankings, because you lost to a good Western Reserve team, because you gave them a good fight on the road, you're going to stay in that top 10 at number 9. Number 8, the East Knox Bulldogs, 1-0 last week. They jumped up one spot because the South Central's lost. They're 14-5. They're the top 3 seed in their district, so they're staying there at number 8, up one spot. At number 7, team that dropped down a spot, the Fredericktown Freddies. The streak is over. They did drop a game finally. They moved to 10-8, so down a little bit, but because some teams went 500, South Central's lost. They're not going to drop completely out just yet. They can win. They can recover a little bit. At number 6, the Mohawk Warriors, they went 2-0. They're only one of 2 teams to go 2-0 this week in the rankings. They move up from number 10 to number 6. The biggest jumper this week, the Mohawk Warriors, behind AJ Hess, somebody you will see in the stat rankings tomorrow afternoon. Number 5, those Lucas Cubs, the tough loss to Willard. They have wins against South Central. They did get a win last night to clinch another Mid-Buckeye Conference Championship, so congratulations to the Cubs. As a couple other media members say, a dynasty in the making down there after the Cubs had a 50-plus game losing streak. Taylor Eisman takes over, and look what they have done. I believe it is, yeah. If we look at Jake Furr's article, I think it was something like that. But the Lucas Cubs just continue to impress. 15-4, they are at number 5. They stay put there. The top 5 pretty much staying put. Number 4, Monroeville, a team that you and I are excited to see tonight, led by Isaac Roeder. Number 4, they are a top 4 seed in their district, the tough D4 Willard district, and we're excited to see that as well in the next couple of weeks to come tournament time, but they are at number 4. Number 3, Centerburg, the Trojans, did not play last week because of the snowstorm and whatnot, but they're so good, only 2 losses. They are going to stay at number 3. And because they're at number 3, the top 2 teams yet to have losses. A team also we will see tonight, Monroeville, Western Reserve. This is a big one, not only for the Firelands Conference, Western Reserve can clinch an outright championship, but for the Country Roads rankings, because say Monroeville gets the upset, I could see them jumping up to maybe number 2 next week.
Oh, I feel like someone said that a week ago on this program.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta give my boss some props every once in a while. Anyway, but Western Reserve, number 3 team in Division 3, they're at 17-0, and they continue to impress. A very balanced offensive attack. I said this before. In the stat rankings, you don't see them in the top 10 in scoring or rebounds because everybody contributes 10 points, 4 or 5 rebounds. So yeah, despite them not being there, it's very impressive what they have done, despite losing to Ohioans the graduation last year. And the number 1 team, to no one's surprise, the number 1 team in all of Division 3 basketball in Ohio, the Colonel Crawford Eagles, David Sheldon's squad, 18-0. They went 2-0 last week to stay at the top of the list. But now I will hand things off to you, Brian. What are your thoughts?
I don't love the loss to Oak Harbor last night, but Willard belongs in your top 10. I've been telling you all along.
Yeah.
I know early in the year they had a few tough losses, but look at the teams that they played. I think 75% of their games are against teams that have 10 wins or more. I see they beat teams like Upper, Cary, Shelby, Columbian, Port Clinton, Lucas. They may have the best resume here in terms of quality wins in your entire top 10. So they're like a show cow to me that you bring them to the fair. They perform on the big stage when necessary, Travis. The number 7 spot, for some reason, it seems to have some of that overrated cow fever. I feel like this is the second week in a row that you got a team just a little bit too high there at that number 7 spot. The Freddies, I think you said they only have one loss here recently. According to my research, they have 2 of their last 3. They got smacked by almost 50 points by Elgin the other night. That's a rough loss. I only see 2 good wins on their schedule, East Knox and Northmore, so I think they're a little bit high at number 7 when you look at all the losses that they accumulated at the beginning of the year. And the same with South Central. Their stock, to me, plummeting like cryptocurrency. You can get them for pennies on the dollar right now. LLLL in their last 4 games. I know that they started out hot, but hey, what have you done for me lately on these country roads? They're getting a little bit dusty and cloudy in front of South Central right now, kicking up some bad juju out there. So I'd take Fredericktown and the Trojans actually completely out of your top 10, and I would replace them with some blue power, baby. Give me the Cary Blue Devils jumping back in there. Get them. They're starting to get on a roll. Winners in 5 of their last 6. And the Crestline Bulldogs, they were 7 last week. I don't know how they dropped all the way out of your top 10. This is a quality team. They've won 6 of their last 7. Other than that, everything else looks good from the top. I love that Mohawk jumped up because they just keep winning.
Last week, you said if the top 10 were the presidential race, they were like Johnny Knoxville.
Presidential race? Johnny Knoxville. I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah,
I think I said something about the Oscars and not getting a good table.
It was, but yeah.
But I was talking about the teams behind them, Travis. So I felt like they weren't good enough to be number 7, but they're good enough to be number 9 or number 10 on your list. So
they're right on the bubble.
Give me some Bulldogs back in here.
Northmore, who went 3-0 last week, they're at 10 and they're at 11-9. Willard at number 10, 11, and 8. Cary, they've been winning more games. They're at 10 and 7. They're right on the outside looking in. I have given them some love. Just on the outside, they do a little bit more for us. They'll be in there, but there's still a couple weeks left. But Crestline, Cary, Northmore, if you show me some more things you can do. Northmore's going to go up against North Union coming up, and they have Cristo Rey next week in the game you'll see here. Crestline, you'll see them against Loudonville on Friday night, so they can get a win. These teams are not out of it. They're just outside right now.
And so, Freddie fans out there, too, while I'm critical of you this week, guess what? Prove it to me tomorrow night. Go into enemy territory, knock off Centerburg, and then you should jump into the top 6. Top 6 if you can get a quality win. Show me something.
We'll have to find out, but that'll do it for right now. We got to hit these country roads to head up to Monroeville. So, for Brian Skowronski, I'm Travis Berardi. We out.